hi, buddy.
Hi.
What's up, Dynasty Warriors? This is your El Commissionado coming at you semi-live. I tried to do a Facebook Live, but it's not letting me go up and do this, so I'm going to do a recording, upload to YouTube, and then get back at you guys. Coming at you from I-39, the beautiful scenery of windmills and farmland. My wonderful wife is driving. Isn't she great? Yes, she is. Okay, then we're going to get down to your Week 12 recap right before Thanksgiving games start on Week 13. Shout out to all of you who have stuck through with this entire season. This is the last week of the regular season. Next week starts the playoffs, and we'll get to this later, but we have all of our playoff teams set, as well as the toilet bowl teams coming up. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into our recaps. Low scoring game of the week, second lowest scoring game of the week actually. Total lowest points scored between Randy and Brett. Randy got lucky again with the horseshoe up his ass, and this one was able to pull out a win over Brett. Luckily he faced one of the lowest scoring team of the week. Randy had just not a great game from Dak Prescott, who faced off against the number one defense in the New England Patriots, only put up 6.9 points, but did get 25 points as a regular scheduled output from Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the game currently. He got another 18 from Michael Thomas, a good acquisition that he pulled, and 15 from Jared Cook, and 14 from Nicholas Foles in the Jacksonville quarterback slot. Brett also did not have a very good week at all. Aaron Rodgers somehow managed to put up 9.5 points thanks to a touchdown and a 2-point conversion against the number 2 defense in the San Francisco 49ers. The only two players that broke double digits for Brett were the Ravens defense, who actually came in as the leading scorer, putting up 15 points, and then Ezekiel Elliott at 12.6 points. Outside of that, Justin Tucker 9 points, and everyone else scored 5.7 points or below outside of those aforementioned players. So not a great week for Brett. Didn't have a lot on his bench to write home about. Actually had the Bills defense against Denver, who put up 18 points, but that wouldn't have helped. Had another 12 from Deebo Samuel, wouldn't have done much. Randy had Hollywood Brown sitting on his bench with 16.2 points, who had, I think, a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter and was off to a really hot start. So Randy does secure a first-round bye with his win last week. Brett, unfortunately, being the second leading scorer in the league, sits in last place, ninth place overall. Lost this one by a score of 102.9 to 69.4. Moving right along to Jake versus Brian. Jake has now lost, I think he's lost 2 straight, possibly, maybe one. Brian, I know, has won 2 straight after starting 1-9. He has now moved into a 3-9 position. So let's get into this one. This was also the second lowest scoring game of the week. Brian got 21 points from DeAndre Hopkins, 29 points from DJ Moore. So that was, 50 points right there. So accounted for half of his points right there out of those 2 positions. The rest of his team didn't really do much outside of Kareem Hunt. Brian stashed Kareem Hunt all year, and it paid off for him. 10.6 points. Jacoby Brissett 13.2. The rest of his team, in the 6 and the 4 range. 1.9 out of Todd Gurley. That's rough, man. He is just having a tough year. We'll look over now to Jake with Connor and Company. Jonathan Williams, the man, the myth, the legend, 20 points, filling in for the injured Marlon Mack. Ryan Fitzmagic, 23.1 points. The rest of his team scored below. Oh, Calvin Ridley, 16 points. The rest of them scored below 10 points. Even got a goose egg from Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was shut out. I feel your pain. Mike Evans was shut out earlier this year. Jake rather, and that was just tough. Jake had 4 players on bye. His entire bench had 0 points. Brian did have Tyler Boyd on his bench at 16 points. Would have done some magic there. So moving right along to Team Flynn versus watch what you say, Quan. Mike versus Steve. Let's pop in and see how this little man is doing. What's up, buddy? You don't like the car, do you? Where's your little rattle? There it is. Let's play with that. Yeah, there we go. Being a parent is awesome. So this is Mike versus Steve. Steve was the leading scorer this week. Unfortunately, that did not do Mike any favors. He also didn't have a very great week. Steve had Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Chubb, both scoring 20 points, as well as George Kittle and Jameis Winston, all in the 20-point range. So that's it's about 100 points combined between those folks. Robbie Anderson and Odell Beckham Jr. both put up 14. And even though he had a goose egg from Marlon Mack, who I don't know how Steve had him in his lineup, he was clearly injured and clearly out. But he didn't need him, so he played a man down and actually scored the most points in the league thanks to some breakout games. On Mike's side of the ball, Mitchell Trubisky against a hapless New York Giants defense scored 18.9 points. Derrick Henry ran all over the Jacksonville defense for 31.5 points. And Tom Brady had 11 points. Outside of that, nothing really too exciting. On the bench, Ryan Tannehill for Steve had 34 points. Mike didn't really have much that would have helped him in any way. So Mike falls to 4-8. Steve moves to 7-5 after a 154.6 to 95.7 victory. Mike will be playing in the Toilet Bowl. Steve will be playing in the playoffs this next in 2 weeks here. So moving to Andy versus Kyle. This was a fun one to watch. Hey, Bubsy, it's all right. It's okay. What's going on? Yes. This one was a fun one to watch with Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews securing a victory for Andy on Monday night. So good for him. Thanks to huge showing by the Baltimore Ravens over the LA Rams. Looking at Andy's team, 18.9 from Deshaun Watson, 25 points from Mark Ingram, 10 points from the Browns defense, and Young-Ho Koo, 11 points. So Andy rolled out Young-Ho Koo for 11 points. On Kyle's side of the ball, 12.6 from Jeff Driscoll, 13 from Devin Singletary, 16 from Will Fuller, and 25 from Kyle Allen. But unfortunately fell in this one by 3.7 points, 112 to 108.3. Nothing really on the bench that would have helped Kyle get into this one outside of maybe